Wait, you're telling me sugar spikes can mess with sleep, mood, and fertility?
It's not just sugar bad, it's the spike pattern, especially repeated big spikes.
But people treat fruit juice like a health drink, like it's spiritually detox.
Yeah, juice cleanse, as if the sugar learns manners because it wore fruit clothing.
Fruit smoothie for breakfast. Meanwhile, your CGM is doing parkour.
The CGM spikes are basically glucose molecules arriving fast into the bloodstream, right?
Exactly. And I love that the conversation is measure behavior, not vibes.
Still, I want the mechanism grounded. Mitochondria stress, inflammation, glycation.
She compares it to overwatering plants. Drown the mitochondria, they revolt.
And when mitochondria are stressed, you get chronic fatigue vibes and brain fog vibes.
Dopamine rush feels like the body getting tricked, like you're awake, but you're actually broken.
So that quick perk isn't energy, it's pleasure chemistry, while inside damage accumulates.
Then glycation is the aging angle, like you're cooking internally faster with bigger spikes.
The cartilage turns brown imagery is brutal, though it makes the concept stick.
And insulin is the rescue hormone that also becomes part of the problem if spikes repeat.
I'm with her on insulin resistance being a driver, but correlation debates will always pop up.
People want a villain, but biology is a whole messy group project.
True, and also the food landscape is engineered to hit starches and sugars nonstop.
Okay, now the controversial part. Good sugar doesn't exist. Even fruit sugar is the same molecules.
She's saying your body doesn't care if it came from grapes or chocolate cake. Glucose handling is what matters.
Wait, grapes cause big spikes because breeding makes them sweeter, not because grapes are natural.
But berries are lower sugar, so smaller spikes, so whole fruit can be different from juice.
The fiber is the bouncer at the nightclub door, prevents the sugar from rushing in instantly.
Exactly, fiber slows gastric emptying and glucose arrival, which blunts the spike.
That's why the juice is sugar water analogy is so catchy.
I get it, but no orange juice ever might be too binary for real life.
She would roast us for having life and then ask for a CGM screenshot.
Fair. But I like the practicality. Focus on timing and context, not banning joy.
Like her rule, no dessert sugar for breakfast, because breakfast sets the day's glucose roller coaster.
That roller coaster idea, spike, insulin drop, cravings, repeat, sounds psychologically real too.
And she links it to brain craving centers being more active when glucose dips.
Your hunger doesn't negotiate when your glucose is chaotic. It bullies you.
So the hack is savory breakfast, protein first, eggs, fish, tofu, nuts, dinner leftovers.
And healthy fats, olive oil, avocado, plus optional starch, but not sweet cereal or orange juice.
No sugar in coffee is where I lose half the listeners.
Coffee with sugar is basically dessert cosplay before your brain even boots up.
She also says savory breakfast can keep you satiated for like 4 hours. Most people get hungry at 2.
And even if you fast, the first meal should still be savory because empty digestion absorbs faster.
Fasting is always nuanced, though. Stress can backfire, especially with intense routines.
She warns fasting can mess with hormones in women, especially if you stack sauna, cardio, kids, and stress.
Yeah, don't turn life into a lab protocol you can't maintain.
I like the caution, but I also think some people do intermittent fasting comfortably and feel great.
Agreed. This shouldn't become a moral badge for being hungry and pretending it's discipline.
Then there are the other 3 hacks: vinegar, veggie starters, and moving after meals.
Vinegar sounds like a dare. 1 tablespoon in water before the biggest meal?
Acetic acid interacts with digestive enzymes and cuts glucose spikes up to 30%, she claims.
Not the toilet paper vinegar, okay noted.
Dilution matters for teeth enamel, and dose timing matters, like 10 minutes before dinner.
Veggie starters is actually culturally widespread. Start with vegetables before carbs.
The fiber creates a barrier in your intestine, slowing glucose absorption and making spikes smaller.
So it's like you're putting a speed bump in front of sugar's highway.
Then, moving after eating, 10 minutes of walking, calf raises, anything to use muscles post-meal.
That's such a low-effort lever, and it's something almost everyone can do.
Do you buy her cookie timing argument? Eat cookies right after workout so muscles absorb more glucose?
I buy the principle, but I worry people will oversimplify it into workout equals unlimited cookies.
Unlimited cookies after leg day is how gym bros become glucose terrorists.
Fair, but muscle mass still matters. Bigger muscles can buffer glucose spikes.
Plus genetics, hydration, stress, microbiome, menstrual cycle all confound your CGM response.
That part was so honest. Don't compare your spike to someone else and declare victory or failure.
And it connects to discipline. Cravings and fatigue steal agency, so stabilizing glucose improves your ability to act.
That was the real thesis for me. Your physiology shapes your behavior loops.
Like your marriage can even be affected. Variable glucose linked to irritability in that voodoo doll study.
You can literally poke your partner with pins because your glucose dipped too low. Wild.
The modern curse, being hangry but with data.
And for PCOS or fertility, she frames it as insulin resistance in many cases. Some cluster of symptoms forms.
She even lists fixes: savory breakfast, vinegar, veggie starters, moving after eating. Said in her program it helped.
Those are compelling anecdotes, but I'd still want broader clinical trials.
Sure, but even if it's not one size fits all, reducing spike frequency is directionally sensible.
Also, her argument against just count calories is hilarious. Calories are measured by burning food in a tank.
Congratulations, your avocado generates the same heat as cake, said nobody who looks at CGMs.
Her point: calories ignore how glucose spikes drive inflammation, insulin, and hunger hormones.
So the actionable takeaway is breakfast composition, vinegar, fiber first, and post-meal movement.
Honestly, I can do all four without turning my life into a punishment.
That's the selling point. Small hacks, not Puritan diets.
And the vibe shift is huge. You're not weak. Your glucose roller coaster is just driving.
All right, let's land the plane. Next episode, we should talk about which foods surprise people most on CGMs.
And what to do when you accidentally breakfast spike and the cravings come for your soul.
See you in episode 2. Same energy, more experiments, fewer sugar halos.
Next up, the practical what I eat when I'm craving playbook for real-life schedules. I'm still stuck on orange juice's dessert energy.
Same, because people defend it like it's vitamins in a glass.
It's like, yes, vitamins. And also sugar that hits like a truck.
The CGM lens makes that argument way harder to dodge.
But how do you convince someone who feels fine after juice?
You tell them to check the spike, then check their afternoon mood.
Exactly, because the whole I feel awake thing is dopamine, not energy.
Dopamine is such a sneaky villain in the story.
Your mitochondria don't care about your feelings. They care about overload.
And the overload story is relatable. Too much of anything gets weird.
Even plants, apparently, they drown and start protesting.
Do you think people will actually do vinegar before dinner, though?
1 tablespoon sounds survivable, but tasting it is the real boss fight.
The trick is diluting it, not doing a vinegar shot like a villain origin.
But the tooth enamel warning, my dentist is already a menace.
That's why you dilute, and timing matters. 10 minutes before your biggest meal.
Okay, vinegar is gross, but big bang for your buck is my language.
You're a hack maximalist, I swear.
I'm not anti-fun, I'm anti-spike.
And the fiber-first move is probably the easiest to justify socially.
Like, I'm starting with veggies sounds normal, not like a metabolic lecture.
Exactly, it's cultural too. Middle East, France, Italy, nobody looks confused.
Veggies first is basically the OG glucose mod.
Mechanistically, it's this fiber barrier idea that slows glucose arrival.
Protective mesh kind of goo is the phrase I didn't know I needed.
Science people would write it in 10 pages. She says it in vibes.
Okay, and moving after eating, 10 minutes feels doable even for lazy humans.
I'm curious if people will actually do it, or just say, I'll walk later.
Later is where plans go to die.
But if it's after your meal, your brain can treat it like brushing teeth timing.
The discipline framing makes sense. Glucose volatility equals irritability.
Wait, remind me. The marriage study, low glucose events mean more pins, right?
Yeah, they were basically weaponizing voodoo dolls with glucose variability.
That study is unhinged, but the implication is calm with control.
So if your breakfast spike makes you cranky later, it's not you being you.
Right, it's your neurochemistry getting jerked around by the roller coaster.
I want to push back slightly. Are we overfitting causality to CGM spikes?
Fair, correlations exist, but the mechanism chain is coherent. Spike, insulin, inflammation, outcomes.
Mechanisms are convincing, but humans love exceptions and edge cases.
And humans love "my body is special" right before buying the juice.
Okay, but what about athletes? Do they still spike hard?
They can spike, but muscle mass can blunt the glucose response sometimes.
That's why one cookie for everyone is nonsense.
Confounding variables everywhere: stress, sleep, hydration, microbiome.
So the win is not perfection. It's learning your personal pattern.
That's why CGMs became the gateway drug to metabolic literacy.
Literally, the graphs turn arguments into reality checks.
I still worry about people switching to diet soda equals healthy.
Don't let the sugar halo fool you. Sweeteners are not a personality.
The main point is reducing big spikes and avoiding breakfast sugar entirely.
And breakfast sugar is basically marketing's final boss.
Sweet cereal, orange juice, granola, that's dessert cosplay at 8 a.m.
The savory breakfast definition is protein first, fats, then optional starch.
Yes, eggs, fish, meat, tofu, nuts, dairy or protein powder, dinner leftovers even.
Lunch leftovers at 9 a.m. is my kind of rebellion.
And it's intentionally not sweet to prevent that early roller coaster cascade.
I love sweets too much, I'll admit it.
See, she's not anti-sugar, she's pro-timing and context.
Put sugar after lunch or dinner, so digestion is already busy.
Though I think the bigger win is habit. You train your craving system.
Because if glucose drops, craving circuitry lights up.
Yep. Then you respond with more sugar, and the spiral locks in.
The spiral is so predictable it should come with a warning label.
That's why the hacks are small, repeatable, and easy to restart after splurges.
Like 2 good days can pull you out of the cluster week.
And workouts can shift dopamine sourcing too. Less sugar pleasure, more training endorphins.
So the practical question, if someone spikes by accident, what do they do next?
They don't spiral emotionally. They just re-anchor with savory breakfast plus movement next meal.
No shame, just recalibration. Very non-diet culture.
The whole not Puritan diets vibe matters because stress itself worsens glucose.
Yeah, you don't need another lever to pull. Just remove the spike triggers.
So to land it, breakfast composition, vinegar, fiber first, and moving after eating.
Honestly, I can do all 4 without turning my life into a punishment.
That's the selling point. Small hacks, not Puritan diets.
And the vibe shift is huge. You're not weak. Your roller coaster is driving.
All right, let's land the plane. Next episode, we should talk about which foods surprise people most.
And what to do when you accidentally breakfast spike and the cravings come for your soul.
See you in episode 2. Same energy, more experiments, fewer sugar halos.
Next up, the practical What I Eat When I'm Craving playbook for real-life schedules. I love that you're basically saying stop dieting, start measuring your spikes.
Yeah, and it's not even moral. It's physiology driving your mood and cravings.
Your roller coaster is driving. That line should be on a billboard.
People treat glucose like a background process, then wonder why they're wrecked at 11.
Okay, but let me challenge it. Do spikes cause everything or just correlate with it?
Correlation is messy, but the mechanisms, mitochondria, glycation, insulin, are pretty coherent.
The mitochondria plant analogy was wild, like give them too much glucose and they go on strike.
Exactly. And that maps to chronic fatigue and that morning rush that's not real energy.
So orange juice gives dopamine, not ATP. Cool.
The dopamine quicksand. Then you hit the crash and your brain demands dessert again.
And the food industry acts like it's normal to start the day with spikes and then blame willpower.
Which is why the savory breakfast hack is such a cheat code. Protein first, sweetness later.
Like eggs or tofu plus fats, and if you want starch, fine, but as an accessory.
Right, it's not no carbs. It's don't shotgun glucose before your day even starts.
But how do you keep people from turning this into another diet religion?
You don't by making it additive instead of restrictive. Small rules, flexible meals.
Like the fairy godmothers in your pocket thing. Vinegar, veggies, move, repeat.
Vinegar is the one people instantly hate, though, so it has to be easy and measurable.
Don't use toilet paper vinegar is a sentence I never expected to hear.
But the point is practical. 1 tablespoon diluted 10 minutes before the biggest meal.
Does it really cut the spike by like 30%? Or is that marketing math?
I don't know the exact number for every person, but acetic acid slowing digestion is plausible.
And even if it's only a notch, fewer cravings and less crash is already a win.
Not very delicious, super low effort hack is the most accurate description ever.
I'd take vinegar over cereal any day. That's not even a debate.
Speaking of cereal, this whole idea that fruit sugar is safe is the biggest myth.
Grapes making a huge spike because people treat them like they're candy with good PR.
Food halos are undefeated until someone wears a CGM.
But what about whole fruit versus juice? Fiber is the separator, right?
Yes, fiber acts like a buffer, slowing glucose arrival so you don't get that sharp peak.
It's basically glucose with training wheels when it's packaged with fiber.
Which is why veggies first matters too. Start with fiber to coat the intestine barrier.
Veggie starters is so culturally baked in, but we act like it's weird now.
In Italy, it's normal. In modern life, we're like, can I skip straight to dessert?
I do wonder, how much of this is timing versus total macros?
Timing matters because the body is sensitive when digestion is fast, and glucose hits the bloodstream quickly.
Which brings us to moving after eating. Like 10 minutes, no gym required.
It's the simplest behavioral lever. Use muscles to mop up glucose instead of letting it float.
Underdesk calf raises is hilarious and effective.
Nobody can see it, but your muscles absolutely can.
My workplace can suffer in silence while my glucose stays calm.
Also, it changes the cravings loop. Less roller coaster means less eat more now.
The craving center gets activated when glucose drops part is what scares me.
Same, because that's how you end up bargaining with yourself all day.
Okay, and if someone accidentally spikes at breakfast, what's the rescue protocol?
Don't panic, just restack the rest of the day. Savory next meal, veggies first, then move.
So no I ruined it spiral, just ops recalibrate.
Exactly, because habits can last days, especially when the dopamine association is strong.
That dopamine angle is sneaky. Sugar becomes the pleasure lever, then workouts can hijack it back.
Right. Exercise gives endorphins and momentum, so your brain stops demanding dessert for relief.
Still, I'm cautious about fasting claims. People slam coffee, sauna, cardio, then wonder why their hormones wobble.
Fasting is nuanced, and for some people it's a stressor, especially if combined with other stressors.
Fasting plus chaos is not biohacking, it's just overclocking your nervous system.
But light skipping can still feel good for some, like you only skip if you feel fine.
Which is my rule, too. If you feel great, fine. If you feel stressed, stop.
And regardless of fasting, if your next meal is junk, it's just a prettier way to spike.
Prettier junk. That's such a thing in nutrition conversations.
Also, calories alone don't predict your glucose behavior because food is molecular, not just heat energy.
That whole calories invented via burning food in water story still makes me laugh.
It's physics for energy, not biology for spikes and insulin responses.
So instead of counting everything, focus on the spikes and let hunger hormones rebalance.
Which is also why parents get calmer. Steadier glucose means steadier temperament.
Steadier glucose saves marriages is both dramatic and somehow plausible.
The study with the voodoo dolls and glucose variability, that was a roller coaster too.
Tyrosine and neurotransmitters linking food variability to irritability. Okay, I'm listening now.
And that's the emotional payoff. You become more you, not more deprived.
Honestly, these hacks feel like turning the background setting from chaos to control.
Small levers, big outcomes, no fasting cult, no sugar guilt theater.
All right, let's lock it in. Savory breakfast, vinegar before dinner, veggies first, move after meals.
If you do just one, do savory breakfast, then build from there.
And if you accidentally do cereal and orange juice, no doom, just recover with the next meal.
Exactly, you're steering the day from the next opportunity, not punishing yourself for the first misstep.
All right, that's episode 1 for us. Go try one hack today, not someday.
Same energy, same chaos-resistant breakfast plan. See you in episode 2.
Next up, what foods surprise people the most on CGMs and how to handle cravings when you slip. Yeah, the savory breakfast thing sounds almost too practical to be real.
I like hacks, but I hate when people act like breakfast is destiny.
But her point is, the spike at breakfast becomes a roller coaster all day.
Roller coaster because glucose drops, hunger hormones wake up, and cravings escalate?
Exactly, it's like your brain goes, cool, we're safe, time to panic.
And then everyone blames willpower when it's just physiology driving cravings.
That's why I'm team start with protein first thing.
Team protein first, anti-muffin, pro-eggs on a random Tuesday.
The nothing sweet for breakfast rule is the cleanest lever.
What about people who just can't stomach eggs in the morning?
Then we remix fish, tofu, leftover dinner, even a protein shake.
I love that she said it can be 8 a.m. or 4 p.m., just first meal savory.
Basically, time is flexible, but the sequencing isn't.
Speaking of sequencing, vinegar is such a wild-sounding hack.
Drink vinegar before dinner is the sentence that makes people throw their brains.
I actually winced listening to it, like teeth, stomach, life choices, all of it.
But she frames it as acetic acid interacting with digestion to blunt the spike.
And she's pretty specific. 1 tablespoon, big glass of water, 10 minutes before dinner.
Also, use kitchen vinegar, not the cleaning vinegar vibe near toilet paper.
Don't drink the plumbing vinegar is a life lesson we didn't ask for.
The toothpaste version is dilute it, don't take a shot, protect enamel.
Still, acetic acid evidence aside, will people actually do this consistently?
That's why she calls it easy hack energy, one small action before the meal.
Easy for us, chaotic for everyone else, but fine, I'll allow it.
Hack 3 is veggie starters, and that one feels culturally intuitive.
Veggies first, as in fiber, creates a barrier, so glucose arrives slower?
Yeah, fiber at the beginning coats the intestine, slows glucose absorption, flattens spikes.
So the starter salad isn't for being healthy, it's for being sneaky to your bloodstream.
Sneaky fiber, and she gives the experiment vibe. Wear a CGM and test it.
I'm into experiments, but I also worry people will overfocus on sensors and miss basics.
True, but the CGM is just a flashlight. How you live still matters.
Which brings us to the 4th hack, moving after eating.
10 minutes of walking, calf raises under the desk, whatever, just move after the meal.
Nobody will see calf raises is the most office human thing ever.
This is like telling your body, we're not storing glucose right now, we're using it.
And it also shifts mood. Movement gives dopamine and reduces the craving loop.
We basically need to replace sugar pleasure with leg pleasure.
Leg pleasure sounds like a TikTok supplement, but okay.
The core idea is spikes drive fatigue, insulin, glycation, inflammation, so smoothing spikes helps everything.
I do buy the direction, but I want people to not panic about every spike.
Right. She's clear that occasional spikes aren't the villain. Repeated big ones are.
The cheat mindset is where people go wrong, like, I failed, so I'll do it again.
The correct move is recover at the next meal, not spiral for 48 hours.
Exactly, and that's why she hates diet culture. She's pro-knowledge, not restriction theater.
No sugar guilt theater is my new motivational quote.
But there's still a question. Is fasting good or bad in this framework?
She calls it nuanced. Fasting can help, but it's a stressor and hormones matter.
And she argues it can mess up hormones, especially for women if you stack stressors.
I liked the realism. If you're lightheaded or stressed, don't force a fast.
That's such a healthier approach than the fasting cult vibe online.
She basically says dose stressors like you dose caffeine.
And then she pivots to why calories aren't the whole story.
Oh yeah, the calorie invention story was brutal and funny.
Burning cake in a box to measure heat is such a weird proxy for human health.
Congratulations, you ate 2,000 calories. Now enjoy your glucose roller coaster.
So the message is, 2 diets can be equal calories but totally different glucose response and cravings.
That's why focusing on glucose can make fat loss easier without starvation vibes.
And it also reframes sugar control as timing and context, not elimination forever.
Sugar as dessert, not sugar as breakfast ideology.
She's blunt about orange juice and cereal, because those are basically dessert in the morning.
Dessert for breakfast, the most polite form of chaos.
Still, parents worry it's all or nothing, like, if I don't give cereal, they'll rebel.
Her counter is, if they never learn the habit, they don't miss it.
That's such a good point. Taste preferences are trained, not just inherited.
Also, steady glucose means steadier behavior, like fewer tantrums and fewer sugar crashes.
You're feeding the household with chemistry, not just food.
She even connected variable glucose to irritation in marriage. Wild, but it hits.
Wait, the study with the voodoo dolls and pins? That was real?
Apparently scientists will do anything except sit still for funding.
But the underlying idea is real. Glucose variability can affect neurotransmitters and mood.
So when people say I'm eating better and I'm a nicer person, it's not just motivation. Could be metabolism.
And that makes discipline more accessible because you're not fighting cravings all day.
Discipline becomes easier when your brain isn't being hijacked by spikes and crashes.
One more thing, though. She says honey and grapes spike too, so healthy sugar is mostly marketing.
Yeah, fructose versus glucose isn't a free pass, it's still sugar in the system.
And juice is worse because fiber is missing, so sugar hits faster.
Nature smoothie in a blender becomes sugar water with branding.
The brand is doing cardio, the gut is doing damage control.
Okay, so if someone starts today, do they pick savory breakfast first or vinegar first?
Savory breakfast first, then add vinegar before dinner if you want the extra blunt force option.
Then veggies first at meals, and 10 minutes movement after every single time possible.
The dream is boring consistency, not dramatic detox energy.
Boring consistency is the cheat code nobody clicks.
All right, that's it. Episode 1 energy. Reduce the spikes, reduce the chaos.
Go try one hack today and notice how you feel tomorrow morning.
And if you slip, recover at the next meal. No guilt, just data.
We'll catch you in episode 2, talking surprising CGM foods and how to handle cravings when you fall off. Okay, but I need to understand this savory breakfast controls the whole day claim.
It sounds like an Instagram sentence, not biochemistry, but the logic is tight.
Because breakfast spikes trigger insulin, then the glucose dips, then cravings hunt you.
Exactly. Your brain gets a low fuel signal, and it screams for fast pleasure.
Pleasure molecule meaning dopamine, so cereal is basically your brain's ex.
A slow, sugary toxicity X that always texts at 11 a.m.
Hey babe, just one more bowl. Then you crash and hate your life.
And you're stuck in that roller coaster loop, spike, dip, hunger, repeat.
How do you know it's not just people being undisciplined at breakfast?
Because even healthy breakfast choices can spike, like juice, fruit, and certain breads.
Wait, healthy fruit can spike hard even if it tastes sweet as a vibe.
Taste doesn't equal blood glucose response. Your monitor doesn't care about your feelings.
My feelings? This strawberry is wholesome. My CGM. Bro, you're spiking.
And she explained it. Fruit sugar is different molecules, but still affects glucose delivery.
So the all sugar is the same molecule point is the core myth buster.
Right. Sucrose is sucrose, whether it's in cake or natural fruit format marketing.
But fiber matters though, right? Whole fruit versus juice is not identical.
Totally. Fiber slows absorption, so spikes can shrink if the food matrix is intact.
That's why veggie starters are like a defensive move at the meal gate.
Yes, fiber first can coat the intestine and reduce how fast glucose hits your bloodstream.
So instead of eat salad for health, it's eat salad to modulate absorption kinetics.
Salad, but make it weaponized and nerdy.
The vinegar hack also sounded weird, but acetic acid lowering spikes by enzymes could be real.
She claims up to 30% for a meal. What I like is it's testable on a CGM.
Testable meaning, try it for dinner, then compare tomorrow's graph and your mood.
And watch cravings, fatigue, and sleep, because glucose isn't just numbers.
Speaking of sleep, the idea that spikes affect aging and glycation is so aggressive.
Glycation is basically internal cooking, and glucose spikes accelerate that process.
Internal cooking. My brain immediately visualized browned cartilage and I hate that image.
Sorry, but it makes the mechanism memorable.
Okay, but mitochondria? She said too much glucose overwhelms them like drowning a plant.
I like the metaphor, though the real point is, glucose overload stresses cellular energy pathways.
So my croissant isn't giving me energy, it's giving me a dopamine placebo and then wrecking factory settings.
Exactly. Dopamine rush feels like energy, but inside it's inflammation and mitochondrial stress.
That's why I feel tired after eating sweet stops being personal and starts being biochemical.
Which is huge for behavior change, because guilt is useless but feedback is powerful.
I like her don't cut everything out, just add the hacks approach.
It's like telling people, you don't need a new personality, just a better morning menu.
Hack 1. Savory breakfast, protein first, nothing sweet in the morning.
And if you must have starch, keep it small and paired with protein and fats.
Translation. Don't do carbs alone like they're roommates, make them join a team.
Hack 2 is vinegar before the biggest meal, diluted so your teeth don't riot.
Your dentist won't be happy is the most honest health warning ever.
Hack 3 is veggie starters, fiber up front to blunt the glucose arrival speed.
Hack 4 is moving after eating, 10 minutes like walking, dancing, calf raises.
Nobody will see your calf raises, but your muscles will see that glucose.
Do you think this is one of those works for most people but not everyone cases?
Totally. CGM responses differ with stress, hydration, sleep, microbiome, and genetics.
So the cookie experiment where the larger person spikes less is true but not decisive.
Right, confounding variables everywhere. So the best test is still your data.
That's why the tone works. She keeps saying, "Don't believe me, try it and measure."
And it fits real life. People can be consistent without turning food into an identity crisis.
Consistency is the cheat code. No dramatic detox arc required.
The dream is boring behavior, not influencer-level suffering.
Where do you stand on fasting then? Like, is it helpful or just another stressor people abuse?
Nuanced. It can help, but fasting is stress, and stress can mess with hormones, especially in women.
So fasting plus hard workouts plus caffeine plus life chaos equals hormone panic?
Yeah, and people sometimes interpret no period as failure, when it's the body asking to slow down.
That's why she says if you feel great, do it. If not, don't.
And most importantly, fasting without junk doesn't magically fix glucose patterns.
Fasting is not a personality, it's a tool.
I also liked the calorie discussion. Calories are energy, but they don't predict spikes or inflammation.
The burn the carrot cake in a box calorie origin story was unhinged and effective.
It shows calories measure heat, not how your insulin, cravings, and glycation respond.
So if you want fat loss and mental clarity, focusing on glucose stability beats obsessing over numbers.
Because when glucose is steadier, cravings calm down and your decision fatigue drops.
Decision fatigue is the real villain, not carbs.
Exactly. You become the version of yourself that can say no without a fight.
There was that study about married couples and glucose variability linking to irritation, right?
Yep, more low glucose events correlated with more pins, so roller coaster moods can leak into relationships.
Your glucose can apparently veto your diplomacy.
Mood isn't just vibes, it's physiology and neurotransmitter balance.
I'm sold on the takeaway. Reduce spikes and you reduce chaos, internally and externally.
Savory breakfast first, then veggies, then movement, then vinegar if you want to be extra strategic.
Go try one hack today and look at tomorrow morning like a scientist.
And if you slip, recover at the next meal. No guilt, just data.
That's the end for episode 1. Catch you in episode 2 for the surprising CGM foods.
And how to handle cravings when you fall off, because everyone falls off.
See you then.
Teaser for episode 2. We're going to test the healthy snacks you think are safe.